Koiki Media, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media, Koiki Media, Koiki Media, we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media, Koiki Media, Koiki Media, we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá.
Koiki Media, Koiki Media, Koiki Media, we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
They never sabi wetin we carry for her.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
I said they never know wetin we carry for body.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, ìníhùn ló ló lajú.
Ẹyẹ tó lórí kodò bí àdán ọ̀pẹ̀tẹ̀ lẹ́nu.
Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè kó dúdú àga.
Òdúdú àkóbá lè gbé wá.
Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣègìrì, ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí, ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀, àwa ni mọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri.
Pé ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá.
Koiki Media, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wá kájé bùgbà yín jẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koiki Media ọlọ́lá gbajúmọ̀ mi o, máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi, ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé, ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ kájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀, àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní ẹbọra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé, ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koiki Media ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àwa là ń gbé tò lárugẹ, jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àtúnjàfẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
We bring you work closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ òòdùn kan kí oko lára ni.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ní bàbá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Odùduwà lágbédá ní, òtítọ́ lágbédá ní.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sóníkèéta.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdúró tán, a tún pèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media, we bring you work closer to your doorstep. Koiki Media is around
To give us latest.
Is around
To give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó kojú gbogbo.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó kojú gbogbo.
Koiki Media is around.
To give us latest.
Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ torí kò sílùú mìíràn. Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ torí kò sílùú mìíràn.
Orúkọ mi ni Sunday Adéyẹmọ tí gbogbo yẹn mọ̀ sí Sunday Ìgbòho. Sàmọ̀gbẹ́tẹ̀ bá jọ ọmọ Ìbàdàn tó bá ń gbé kó wọ́n mọ̀ pé ní bàbá Ìbàdàn, wọ́n lè mọ̀ pé ẹlẹ́mìí àpè ní Ìbàdàn. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yẹn tó bá ń gbé ìlú òdì kejì tó bá jọ ọmọ bòmí ó kọ ìlú tó ti wá yẹn náà máa fi pè é níbi tó ń gbé. Èmi náà jẹ́ kan nínú ẹni tó kópa nínú ogun Mọdákẹ́kẹ́ àti Ifẹ̀. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó bá gbọ́ sórí ogun yẹn tó ń gbọ́ gbogbo pa tí mo kó mẹ́rin pé ọkùnrin mẹ́rin ogun bàbá yẹn ń gba ogun ó ṣe báyìí ó máa ń jẹ́ kí ẹlòmíràn pé ọkùnrin ni, akíkanjú ọkùnrin ni. Gbogbo wa wàhálà Ládọjà àtàwọn bàbá dídí búmbàdàn náà, gbogbo àwọn tí wàhálà yẹn sojú wọn, wọ́n fẹ́ impeach Ládọjà, wọ́n fẹ́ yẹ Ládọjà ń pò, wọ́n fẹ́ gbàjọba lọ, wọ́n fẹ́ yẹ Ládọjà jẹ nǹkan kan tí mi dẹ̀ dúró tì ń gbà yẹn. Gbogbo àwọn tó rí pa tí mo kó láti pé kí wọ́n mọ̀ rí Ládọjà yẹn jẹ́ ń gbà yẹn. Sùtẹ́lù mi bá rí mi èrò yẹn pé ọkùnrin mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n nìyẹn bí wọ́n ṣe bọ́ta ṣe pọ̀ tó Ọlọ́run ṣẹ́gun wọn fún. Èròǹgbà mi lórí ìgbésẹ̀ àwọn Fúlàní yẹn ni pé ẹnu Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ kò. Tí wọ́n bá mọ̀ pé wọ́n fẹ́ ká bá Fúlàní jà, káwọn bàbá wa gbogbo àwọn ọba wa gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa wọ́n ṣáájú kàn pè wá sí mítì kan wọ́n dẹ̀ fún wa pé tó àwọn ọmọ yìí o kí ròyìn dé sì gbé kí gbogbo ayé rí pé tó àwọn ni wọ́n sọ pé tó ká kojú wọn gbogbo ibi tí yàrá ti fẹ́ jẹ Yorùbá ká fèsì ibẹ̀. Ọlọ́run mọ̀mọ̀ mú wa agbára mélòó wà làwọn Fúlàní wa ní wọn ò tó ń tó ń pera wọn wọ́n fọlọ́bùra fún yín wọn ò tó ń tó ń pera wọn. Ọlọ́run bá lódùmarè ń gbọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá ní nǹkan tí àwa náà ní lọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàtà jogún náà bàbá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí lò ń sìn ká bọ́ta wọ́n sọ wá lóko míì. táwọn bàbá bá mọ̀ pé yà ń jẹ àwọn Yorùbá kàn pe gbogbo wa sí meeting kàn pe Ọọ̀ni kàn pa Láàfin kàn pa àwọn bàbá Àwùjalẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ọba yẹn tó bá jókòó kàn wá pè wá kàn invite gbogbo wa wá Ọlọ́run bá lágbára èmi ò tó nǹkan kan àwọn tó tún lágbára jùlọ wá pọ̀ lọ pọ̀ tó pọ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kàn pe gbogbo wọn jọ so tí ń sìn tó máa pè wọn jọ tó bá mọ̀ pé lè kan ru wa náà ipá náà sì lè ní pátá lè kó kàn pè wá káwájọ jókòó káwo bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe tí ò ní sí nǹkan kan ẹ̀mí gbọ́n kankan mọ́ ẹlòmíì náà ń gbọ́ gbòó ni kò kúrí mi rí ẹlòmíì á ní ó lè kọ̀máǹdì mọ́ ó lójú àwọn tí mo ṣe lójú wọn rí ẹlòmíì á ló lè ṣe báyìí ẹlòmíì tí bá ṣe kan lójú ẹ yóò sọ 10 ṣé nǹkan tí mo sọ yìí ẹlòmíì á sì ní ẹnu ni so àwọn tí wàá mọ́ sọ pé nu nìyẹn èmi mọ́ bẹ lọ́n kí nǹkan dẹ̀mí àti wọn pọ̀ wọn lè rí pé kì í sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀nu ṣùgbọ́n pé kẹ́nìkan wá lóhun dìde ṣe èmi ìwọ ni mi Sunday Igboho mo wá bọ́ ọ̀tá o àbá nígbà tí wọ́n bá fi dọ̀tún la Buhari ó pàṣẹ láti Àbújá sọ́jà tí ó ka mọ́ta nkìdé yóò ju tó gun boko haram tó ń jẹ́ ilẹ̀ Haúsá lọ wọn ò ríra wọn bẹ̀ yẹn tá a bá dẹ́rẹ̀ wò nísìn ẹ̀ rí i pé wọ́n yìí máa lọ́wọ́ gbogbo táwọn ń ṣe ilẹ̀ Haúsá tó ń mú jẹ yẹn tá a bá dẹ́rẹ̀ wò nísìn wọ́n yìí máa lọ́wọ́ torí pé àwọn Yorùbá kan náà ni ó lọ bá wọn lọ́hùn tí wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ọmọ bí wọ́n ṣe wọ́n ṣe nu pa ẹ̀ làwọn ọmọ ayákìlá làwọn ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n yẹn ta la parí ta ìyá yóò la parí ìbíjà yẹn làlá fẹ́ gbé ó tó fi gbà sùúrù nìyẹn ó gbọgbọ́n kì í ṣe nǹkan tí yẹn kàn kágbádá ọrùn tó kó funpa tó kó lóńdè tó gbé bọ̀kọ́rùn tó lọ́fẹ́ lọ pàdé Fúlàní o bí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ wọ́n sọ di nǹkan mímọ́ yẹn lọ́wọ́ àfi kéèyàn jókòó kó lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá yẹn táwọn bàbá yẹn ó ṣèwé kán sáyìn fún wa pé àwa la ṣèwé fún yín pé ìyà gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ Yorùbá gbogbo bíkíbi tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá dé ẹ lọ ṣàbò lórí ẹ̀pọ̀ àwọn ọmọ tẹ bá mọ̀ ń bẹ kẹ́ ṣàbò àwọn ọmọ ń bẹ ńlẹ̀ bàbá mi àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ń bẹ ńlẹ̀ tí wọn ò ní sá rárá àwọn ọmọ tẹ́wọ̀n tán jó àwọn ọmọ tẹ́wọ̀n tán jókòó wọ̀nyí wọ́n yìí sọ wọn ìṣẹ́ran rírọ̀ but ọgbọgbọ́n àlèkàn pé ẹ mọ lọ sí Ìkirè ibi tí wọ́n ti ń kidnap Yorùbá ẹ mọ lọ Òṣogbo ẹ mọ lọ lọ́rin ẹ mọ lọ sí yóò di nǹkan mímu wa lọ́wọ́ tó bá ti dá wọn lójú pé àwọn làwọn bí wa àwọn sì làwọn bàbá àwọn ni bàbá wa lẹ̀ Yorùbá ń bí wọ́n sì ṣe bàbá burúkú wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ̀dàlẹ̀ bàbá tí fìyà jọmọ káwọn náà bá gbádá rẹ̀ kàn ó tì wá síwájú bàbá lọ bàbá nílọ káwọn bá gbádá rẹ̀ kàn ní ká nìṣó níbẹ̀ bàbá lọ bàbá nílò bá wọn gángan ò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ torí ohun táwọn bàbá àkànnà ń bẹ tó ń gbà ń bẹ àwọn oníṣẹ́ jù bá ń lọ bọ̀ táwọn bá jẹ́ bàbá dáadáa tí wọ́n dẹ̀ fẹ́ fi àtúbọ̀tán rí lẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ wọn kò yẹ kí wọ́n gbàbọ̀dẹ̀ fún Yorùbá kò yẹ kí wọ́n pè wá ká bọ́ ta ni káwọn dẹ̀ dúró tì wá pé ó yẹ nìṣó níbẹ̀.
ẹ má fojú kó eruku ata abẹ́ ń bẹ eruku ata tí o ti fojú kó bàbá wà gbogbo Nàìjíríà.
Okay, a very good evening and welcome once again to our transmission. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí arúgbó ilé, Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ṣé àlàáfíà ni mo bá wa. Mo kí ọba Elédùmarè, màá ní àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè. Mo kí gbogbo mùsùlùmí, a dẹ̀ ń kí ẹ̀yin Krìstẹ́nì, a kú bí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe ń lọ ní location 9. Mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. I say good evening and welcome, and I say shout out to all the Koiki Media team, and I also say good evening to every one of you. Mo kí bàbá wa Professor Adebanji Akitoye. I promised you 3 years ago, almost 4 years now, that no matter how tough this journey was going to be, àwa máa dúró pẹ̀lú yín, and we will stand very firm and shoulder to shoulder with you. Mo kí àwọn Biafra, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí Simon Ekpa and the Biafra government in exile. Mo kí àwọn Ambazonia, mo kí àwọn Scottish, mo kí àwọn Wales, and everyone that wants to be free from the shackles of what the world has created. I welcome you, and I hope that you would also be sharing the program and invite many of your friends around the world. Mo kí Easy, mo kí Kunle Bakers, mo kí Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀nà, mo kí bàbá wa Adéyẹmí Ọláyẹmí. Shout out to Ọjà Ọ̀dàn, mo kí Ọpẹ́, mo kí the 25 Koiki Media strong team that are prepared and ready to travel to Igboho next week on behalf of all the Yoruba sons and daughters. Mo kí my management team that are working quietly, and shout out to my beautiful wife, and I say, hope you all had a great Valentine, depending on whether you celebrate it or not. Mo kí ẹni tó máa gbọ́ live and ẹni tó máa tún gbọ́ later. Please let me know in the comment section if the sound and the picture quality, if everything is working as it's meant to be. I'm also sharing the program, and I hope you're doing the same thing, because it will also bring more people. And the more you comment, the more it helps the algorithm. We are running on 8 different channels tonight. So you might probably be watching or listening from different parts of the Koiki Media, and also my 2 brothers that have allowed us to use their platform to communicate, which is Aluka and likewise Imole Thomas, Taiwo Thomas, Mokiawa Titilola Show. Shout out to the All Yoruba Nation campaigners, the Yoruba World Media, the Home Base Media, all different organizations that are working tirelessly from Ilana Omo Odua to the central office, to the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, also known as the YSDF. Shout out to all the groups across, and as everyone is preparing to travel to Igboho, we'll be telling you why you should leave early so that you will get to Igboho if you're going to be traveling the same day. This time next week, we would have been getting ready to prepare for the first event, which is going to take place. All the itinerary and everything is now set and ready to go. We all look forward to this very important, great day in the history of the Yoruba people, in bidding a farewell to a mother, a beautiful mother that passed on to the glory of Almighty God. That is late Mrs. S.A. Adeyemo. She died at the age of 75, a very, very young age. But I'm sure every one of us could understand what could have led to the death after the Fulani terrorist government wanted to assassinate his son, which they could not. Eventually, we've all witnessed what happened, but July last year, she passed on, and she will be buried next week. Nothing is going to change in terms of the date, the time. Otherwise, important that if you're traveling, please let's travel in groups of people so that we can all have a great time. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà ní Agége, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bọ̀ láti Kogi, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bọ̀ láti northern part of Nigeria, the middle belt, and also people will be traveling from the southeast of the country. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pátápátá ni ó máa wà represented, but also we are aware that there are some individuals that are calling themselves Òmìnira that are also planning to disrupt the event of the day. All we can only say to them is, don't do otherwise, because if you do, àwọn onílẹ̀ wá sọ yín mọ́lẹ̀. This event that is already well planned and well prepared for from different groups around the world. We can only first appreciate the leader of the Yoruba self-determination, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, that has given us the assurance that the event should go ahead as it has been planned already. You might be watching from different platforms. I will catch up with you in terms of welcoming, but let's go straight into the program because of the time constraint. It is exactly 10 minutes past 1 a.m. in London, where I am transmitting from. There will be different time zones around the world. It is also important kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá fi sọ́kàn pé all different things have been said regarding this event that is coming, spiritually and morally, and all different stakeholders. All I can confirm tonight is that this event goes ahead. Bí wọ́n ti ṣe plan ẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti bá wa dá sí, not just from the financial aspect alone, but from the spiritual aspect. Mo kí Prophet Kolios, mo kí Pastor Moses, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá wa nínú Olúwa láti Redeem títí dé Celestial. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn alásàlátù, gbogbo ìjọ Mùsùlùmí, mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo àwọn traditional tí ó jẹ́ nǹkan ti bàbá wa. À ń jà ìjàngbara torí pé a fẹ́ ẹ̀sìn kan. We are fighting because we believe that it is the right thing to do. Kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú religion, so I beg us all the time, please, especially àwa tá à ń bára wa communicate, don't allow religion to interfere with this movement. This movement has nothing to do with religion. Religion is your own personal being. Please do not join it with this movement. As I continue to appreciate every Yoruba sons and daughters, I still remain the spokesman for Oloye Dr. Sunday Adeyemo Igboho-Oòṣà. We appreciate some of you that have reached out to us to reach out to him in terms of donation, voluntary. We won't mention names, but we are grateful. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, olúkálùkù ló mọ rẹ̀. But for those of you that still want to support, is a barrier. That means a lot of things will be needed. I am not here raising money for any reasons. But if you're one of those that say voluntarily, we will support directly to Oloye, or you will support any other platforms or even this platform, it is more than welcome. It is going to be a barrier, but a barrier in style, which is why we are all looking forward to such a beautiful day. Like I said, there's a lot of planning committee, Moki Comrade Shola Kubodoku, for the great work you're doing on behalf of the Yoruba people. We love you, we appreciate you. Moki Olori Oko, Moki our Janet Fashaki, tí wọ́n sọ fún wa pé oko etílé ní ká lọ máa ṣe for many ọmọ Yorùbá àṣetí kunkun until the northerners started harboring their food. They warned us, they told us, but because we are very forgetful people, they told us that in 21 days they would not bring any food to the southwest of Nigeria. Maybe we thought that they were joking. They were not joking, they were serious about it. And that is the reason why we saw a video circulating where they were actually telling us that food stuff that is meant to be sold to almost every part of Nigeria has now been restricted from being sold. Once again, we are pleading with all our governors in the Southwest to put more effort and add more into the farming to support the local people that are into farming business. The Yoruba nation doesn't have a government yet, but we are also trying our little best from different platforms that are establishing different things that can make life easy. The pain of our people is a great concern to us at this very difficult time. So if you're one of those that are involved in farming, we know that also the insecurity has literally led to many farmers running out of their farm. But again, we are wholly hoping that one day all that will become a thing of the past. But it's not going to happen if we sit back and we do nothing. We must be ready to sacrifice a lot to achieve our goals and desire. No freedom is going to come to us if we do not put enough effort into it. Part of the effort is why we are doing these broadcasting on a daily basis from different platforms and different groups of people. The reason why we are doing that is not because of anything, it's because we want to reassure our people that it is only one way out. One way out of Nigeria is to officially find a roadmap. The roadmap to separate Nigeria does not literally mean a war. We can find a lasting solution if we have the right politicians in the Southwest that are ready to do so. But we know that they are not going to do exactly what we want. Some of us have been reading in the papers, the mainstream media and the print back in Nigeria, that they are now discussing a parliamentary system of government. That indicates that there is a lot of tension currently in Nigeria, and this tension is not going to go away because everybody is now asking whether we want to remain as one or whether we do not want to remain as one. If we are going to remain as one Nigeria, what condition and at what ground? And if we are not going to remain one, what also should be the terms of exit? Some say that we should put in for referendum. Some say we should just sit on the round table and do exactly what other countries have done in the past and dissolve this union that was forced on us by the British in 1914. We know that we have more than enough different ethnic groups in Nigeria, but let us always remember some still prefer the one Nigeria, reason known to them, and we must respect their views. But we must also make sure that we tell these individuals that want one Nigeria that the creation of one Nigeria was done without anyone in that round table. It was done on what we call a fraudulent amalgamation. And that amalgamation has led to the death of so many different ethnic groups of Nigerians, indigenous people. After 110 years of the existence of Nigeria, we can now officially confirm that the creation of that entity has a lot to talk about. After the 63 years of independence, we can now confirm that the independent of what we got is false. After my introduction of the next video that is coming on from the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, addressing us ahead of next week's event, we will then go into the roadmap again, which is what we're going to be talking about, but with other messages around it. The topic for tonight still remains the same topic that we are treating from the previous program. Roadmap to peaceful dissolution of Nigeria is possible. Separation is not about war. I had the privilege to watch my beautiful colleague that also talked about news and other events around the world. After watching this particular program produced by Vantage, or also known as First Post. First Post is a very powerful media platform that is doing very well in India. And I love the program because not just only giving us what is happening around the world, but also where I pick up things that I can link with what I do as a media as well. Her name is Palki Sharma. Many of you must have come across her, but tonight I'll be telling you a little bit about why I will be talking about the biggest Hindu temple that has now been officially opened in United Arab Emirates. Let me say this again. You might be a Muslim, but there are millions, if not thousands, of different religions around the world. Hinduism is an Indian religion, or Dharma, a religious and universal order or way of life. Hindu is practiced by many in India. The three Hindu religions are Brahmanic, Sanskritic, Hinduism. As you are a Muslim or Christian, or as we are traditionalists, as we are called, let us remember that Hindu is also practiced around the world, just as our Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is also one of those Hindu as well. Why am I going to be talking about Hindu tonight? It is important that you sit back and you learn why Yoruba culture should be preserved, protected, and be ready to showcase to the world. I can tell us tonight that civilization in the milestone Modi inaugurates at the United Arab Emirates, the Hindu temple, one of the biggest, massive. All the materials that was used to build this temple came all the way from India. Ìbéèrè tí mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá máa bèèrè wọn ní alẹ́ ni pé níjọ́ wo ni ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ ní Yoruba temple ní United Arab Emirates, as against all the criminal politicians that have turned United Arab Emirates to their own luxury apartment and shopping mall. India is already not just showcasing a temple, they are also now competing with China to have what they call a one-stop shop in the United Arab Emirates, where everything you can think of can be sold and brought and bought right from that particular mall or whatever. We're going to listen to it later. These are the two key areas. So you might want to just sit back and Hopefully, we'll have enough and ample time to go through the program. How do we preserve a Yoruba culture if we remain as one Nigerian? How do we preserve our culture when we are still inside Nigeria to the world? We know that our culture is well practiced in Cuba, Brazil, and the rest of the world. But is it still viable in the one Nigeria or in an independent Yoruba country? All that will be discussed. But let's start with a message of hope from the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group, Professor Adebanji Akintoye.
Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní àsìkò yìí o. Mo kí yẹn kú múra ti òkú ìyá olóyè wa Sunday Adéyẹmọ, Chief Dr. Sunday Adéyẹmọ tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Sunday Igboho. A kú múra o. Ẹjọ́ tí a máa gbé òkú kúrò ní mọ́ṣúárì ní February 22. Tó bá di February 23. Àwa sí òkú yẹn ní Ìgbòho. Gbogbo wa ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀ráǹdì ẹni wa o. Àwa Yorùbá wọ́n ní ènìyàn láṣọ mi. Ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká wà níbẹ̀ kí ayé gbọ́kàn mọ̀ wípé ọmọkùnrin léèyàn ó ti ṣe débi pé ó léèyàn púpọ̀ láyé. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe yẹn. Mo sì fẹ́ wá bẹ̀ yín. Sunday fẹ́ wá sìnkú lé ni o. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ìjà kankan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ẹnì kankan kó ronú pé òun lọ síbẹ̀ lọ́jà. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe yẹn. Mo bẹ̀ yín o. Kò sí ìjà. It's a peaceful funeral service. Beautiful. Nǹkan tí a gbọ́dọ̀ try láti ṣe nìyẹn o. Ó yẹ wá, ó yẹ Sunday, ó yẹ àwa tá a wá síbẹ̀, ó yẹ àwọn arúgbó tó wá, ó yẹ àwọn ọmọdé tó wá, ó yẹ àwọn àgbà tó wá. Ó yẹ ọkùnrin tó wá, ó yẹ ọkùnrin tó wá, kẹ́nìkan kan má jà. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ bẹ̀ àwọn ọlọ́lá alágbára Nàìjíríà tó ń jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá. From the president of Nigeria downwards, títí dọ́dọ̀ àwọn governors wa, àwọn chairman wa gbogbo ẹjọ́. Àbúrò yín àbí ẹ̀gbọ́n yín Sunday bọ̀ dé wá sí ikú ni o. Kò wá ṣe nǹkan mìíràn jù yẹn o. Ẹ jẹ́ kó yẹ kó dáa fún ọ. Ẹ fún ní support o. Bó ṣe yẹ kó rí nìyẹn o. Ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká support ẹ o. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ẹnikẹ́ni lọ jókòó sí kọ̀rọ̀ kó máa plan tó ní kíní kan tó ń fẹ́ ṣe against Sunday níjọ́ yẹn o. Ẹ fún láyè ìjọ́ yẹn. Ìyá èèyàn ọkùnrin kú ní ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ẹ̀ẹ̀kan ṣoṣo náà ni ìyá èèyàn ń kú. Ìyá tiẹ̀ ló kú lélẹ́yìí tá a fẹ́ ṣe yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fún láyè kó yẹ ìyá rẹ̀ sí kí gbogbo akádẹ̀bá yẹ ìyá yẹn sí. Mo bẹ̀ yín o. Ẹnìkan kan má jà, ẹnìkan kan má plan kíní kankan ní kọ̀rọ̀kọ̀rọ̀ pé èmi ni gómìnà, èmi ni president, èmi ni chairman council. Òótọ́ ni Sunday ń jà fún ìdásílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Òótọ́ ló ń jà fún. But kò tí ì fi ìjà agídí àjà kò fi ṣe rárá lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ìgbà tó ń ṣe rálì, gbogbo ọ̀ṣẹ̀ rálì ń Ìbàdàn, a ṣe ní Abẹ́òkúta, a ṣe ní Òṣogbo, a ṣe ní Àkúrẹ́, a ṣe ní Adó Èkìtì, gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ peacefully ni. Ẹnìkan kan ò fọwọ́ gún, ẹnìkan kan ò fọsẹ̀ gún. Ọlọ́pàá ò arrest ẹnìkan kan, ọlọ́pàá ò dẹ́rùbà ẹnìkan kan ò dẹ́rùbà ọlọ́pàá. So that's who we are. Òótọ́ ni pé àwọn Fúlàní wọ́n ní àwọn máa pa wá rẹ́ àṣẹ Yorùbá nation. Gbogbo wa lè lajú lẹ̀ ká jẹ́ kán wá pa wá rẹ́. The Fulani amount to nothing by our side. Láyé tá a wáyé, the Fulani don't mean anything to us, but a máa defend ilẹ̀ wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣiṣi bá sí ojú èèyàn lè kúrò. Ẹ jẹ́ ká nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn. Nígbà tó dẹ̀ lọ sí gàngànjọ́ yẹn kò jà o, kò bá yẹn kankan jà. Ó kàn sọ fún bàbá yẹn wípé àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ tán pààyàn tán wà bí àwọn bàbá mi tó nílẹ̀ bí wọ́n ní kí n sọ fún ẹ pé kẹkẹrù yẹn kẹ kúrò ńbẹ̀. Ìyẹn dẹ̀ kẹrù ó kúrò ńbẹ̀ ìjà parí òun sì tán. So that is it. Ẹ mo fún repeat ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọ̀ peacefully beautiful funeral ceremony for our dear chief's mother. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ọ̀nà ẹ̀ o ẹ jẹ́ ká ọ̀nà fúnra rẹ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ ká wá ọ̀nà mọ̀mọ́ ju bá a ṣe máa ọ̀nà fúnra rẹ̀ mo bẹ̀ yẹn ẹ má jà wọ̀ ẹ ṣé o ó dìgbà.
To the leader of the Yoruba self-determination, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, putting out an address. See the governors, the politicians, the president, the senators, the House of Reps, and all members of the elite that next week, Inshallah, lórúkọ Jésù Kristi, láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, there will be a burial ceremony that has to do with the late mother of also a leader in the self-determination campaign, Dr. Chief Sunday Omoadeyemo Igboho-Oòṣà. Will be burying his mother by God's grace. As our father have stated clearly, without adding or taking away from it, that this is a funeral ceremony and nothing more than that. And he has already put in this out just for the record purpose, so that it can be well said that the leader of the Yoruba self-determination campaign came out to address not just those that are in Nigeria, but also to address everyone outside Nigeria, both friends and followers of Nigeria as a country where it is right now, even though we don't agree with it, but also to many Yorubas around the world and leaders around the world. So we hope and expected that just as those representing us presently are leaders in their own capacity, they would also respect the leader of the Yoruba self-determination campaign, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, as well. And nothing more than that. I'm sure that the message is well understood. I'm sure the message is well articulated. That is all I will be saying for now. Nothing more than that. But for those that still want to participate, as of today, people are still buying the materials. Tí a mọ̀ sí Ankara, tí a máa lò the next week. Mine is already here in London, and I can't wait to have it on next week, God's willing. Gbogbo àwọn tó ń lọ, Ọba Elédùmarè will protect and guide us. Many people have arrived that I'm aware of from different parts of the world and within Africa that have come back home to represent on behalf of Oloye Igboho. So many different groups are planning different things, from catering, from security, from tidying up. We look forward to the welcoming of many of us that will be coming, just as we are also saying, sí gbogbo ọmọ ìlú Ìgbòho pé a kú àlejò, a dẹ̀ kú palẹ̀mọ́, a kú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí. Koiki Media team are fully gearing up. This weekend will be my last meeting. That will be the 5th meeting with my team on this very important event. We will be traveling ahead so that we can welcome many of you that will be coming as well for this great burial ceremony. We are going to be making sure that you will not miss much for those of us that will not be able to travel back home for this event. But be rest assured that the more of the little resources that we have within our capacity, we will be able to watch the live transmission non-stop for the 2 days from different cameras and different angles. And that means that I will be using more of resources that we've never used before. We all know what it takes right now in Nigeria presently to run this kind of operation, just as many other medias and other individuals are preparing. But because of the nature of not just one of the campaigner of Yoruba Nation, but also because the expectation from my platform is very huge, I have discussed lengthily with the Koiki Media team that are traveling on our behalf. They've told me that they are ready to make sure that at least the 2 days of the event, they will work to satisfy as many of what we will expect to see. But if you're still able to give your own little support, don't hold it back. We are still finalizing the vehicle. I will be concluding since we did not get any assistance, because it's good to put this on record from anyone regarding a vehicle. That means that the team will have to rent one to travel next week. I'll be making sure that all that will be taken care of latest by this weekend. We have done so much, but there's still a lot that can be done. We are not just going to be in Igboho alone. Let us also remember that we lost a father and a brother and an uncle. Dr. Rotimi Akeredolu died December last year as well. And that literally means that it has collided or colluded in terms of the timing with the burial arrangements for Igboho's mother. That has now made Koiki Media to become available for that as well. Since Akeredolu is a politician, but we know that his stand at least was a bit more lenient to the Yoruba race. We might not agree with everything he has done, but as Yoruba, we believe that our Omoluabi ethics is there. So we have put two or few more of my team that will be traveling to Akure. The event of Akeredolu starts from today, which is Thursday the 15th. That means there will be some transmission coming from Akure later on this evening. Looking at the itinerary of Akeredolu's event, I went through detail with my team yesterday. We will be traveling between Owo and Akure. Is a very big event ahead as well. But we've managed to see what we can do so that missing with Akeredolu, because Thursday, Friday of the same day with Igboho's mother, there will also be happenings as well in terms of Akeredolu's burial arrangement. But we're going to be there to do justice. Again, you can see now that we have now become strained to cover this massive 2 events. So please, if you're still holding back that support, let's get it out now, because this is my final weekend to finalize everything ahead of the team that are traveling to those regions. Obeledumare afungubuwashe. Mokia easy. So that is going to be on that, and we will now move swiftly to the discussion of tonight. Once again, Koiki Media is ready, and I hope you are also ready for us as well. Shout out to my brother Easy. Yoruba, Dizzy Man 123, thank you so much. Where do we start now? Let's see. Culture. I decided to put this on because especially the Christians and the Muslims, we get freaked out quickly. I don't know why, but I believe it's got to do with these mindset of what we have been told by the Europeans. Let's see if we can do justice to some of what we're going to listen to. So I'm going to be using this video from First Post láti fi ṣe àpèjúwe àlàyé tí mo fẹ́ jẹ́ ká tún jọ gbọ́ lálẹ́ tó sọ pé tí a bá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, ìran Yorùbá máa tètè ní opportunity ju inú Nàìjíríà tá wà lọ. So láàrin méjì a máa pause video yẹn. I will be muting my mic. I hope I will be able to unmute it so that I can speak when I have to at the appropriate time. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, if you want to support, the details of how to support will probably come up on our screen. Or if you're not too sure, just reach out to me and say, Koiki, this is what we can do to support. Tẹ́ bá wá ní kankan tẹ́ fi support, ẹ má dẹ́rù bà wá nípa next week. Pray for us, and that's more than enough as well. That is all I will say from that. We might come back to that later as well, but for now, all I can confirm is that next week, Igboho Town will be bubbling. Igboho Town will be ready for us. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n prepare, gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìyá wa, ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, àtàwọn diaspora tí wọ́n náà máa lọ represent àwa tá nílé lọ. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Ìbàdàn àti Ọ̀yọ́ state pé a kú àlejò. Bear with me, I'm trying to adjust something here. Ẹ bá fi sínú comment section if the audio and the quality seems to be doing justice to the work we are doing right here tonight. Mo bẹ̀ wá, ẹ bá fi sínú comment so that káwọn management team wọn lẹ́yìn kó lè rí pé, because we are doing some few testing tonight, and it is important that we need the feedback láti fi lè operate iṣẹ́ tí à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ níbí báyìí. Ìrìnàjò Yorùbá Nation kò tí kú o, kò ṣe easy. Ìrìnàjò yẹn ó ń tẹ̀síwájú. Ẹ má jẹ́ kẹ́ni kankan sọ fún wa pé a ní right. A ní right, but ọ̀nà tí right yẹn máa gbà jáde, òun ni à ń tẹ̀síwájú láti showcase ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tí kò yé àwọn èèyàn wa tó ń béèrè pé tá bá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, báwo ni ayé wa ṣe máa rí, àti pé ṣó tẹ̀ possible pé kíyàn ti wà nínú ìlú kan kó wá tún fẹ́ jáde nínú ẹ̀. It is very, very possible, but subject to whether àwa tí a jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá gan a mọ kí ni future tó wà fún wa. I'll be telling you more. I'm just trying to bring some of my screen up because ó tójọ́ méjì síjọ́ mẹ́ta So there's a lot of work and a lot of adjustments. So tonight is also like a test to what we are doing here from the studio, where I am reporting fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó gbéṣẹ́ lé wa lọ́wọ́. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ mi tí a jọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ yìí, kò ní sú wa o, kò dẹ̀ ní rẹ̀ wá. Ẹ̀rù ò bodò, ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ̀kan akin. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin brothers wa, ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, bàbá wa Adéyẹmí, wọ́n ní your very audio is fine. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn Koiki Media team, mo kí bàbá wa Ahmed Jamiu, mo kí ìyá wa àtẹ̀yin mọ́mọ́ wa. So let me move swiftly because we've done 56 minutes already. Again, 15th February 2024, and the time from London is 1:45 a.m. In Nigeria, they were 1 hour ahead of us. So let's go into it and listen to this. And then I will be more muting and coming in and out. Láti ṣàlàyé nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ mú jáde níbí báyìí gangan. What we're about to watch was yesterday. About 103,000 people have watched this video around the world, just under 10 hours. Ẹ bá wa pín ètò tiwa náà so that it can reach more people and more people would learn reasons why Yoruba people must be free from the shackles of a country that was never meant to be called Nigeria. Let's go ahead.
In the UAE, whichever way you look at it, political, civilizational, religious, geopolitical, all of it rolled into one. Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated a Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi, a massive structure rising from the desert. It's called...
Like I said, I'm going to be coming in between the conversation. I want us to look at this temple, massive, built in the desert. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kì í ṣe desert. Saudi Arabia, no, United Arab Emirates, gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Dubai. We all knew how or what we have been heard before. Ìtàn ti gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí pé ilẹ̀ aṣálẹ̀ ni kó tó di pé ó develop. Kí ló fi jẹ́ kó develop? Ṣé jẹ́ ẹ̀sìn ló ń jà níbẹ̀? Ṣé kí ni wọ́n ń ṣe tó yàtọ̀? Temple tẹ́ ń wò yìí, wọ́n ṣe parí ẹ̀, wọ́n ti kọ́ tán. Òun làlàyé tí sísítà wa tí ó fi ṣàlàyé fún wa nínú àwòrán tá a fẹ́ wò yìí. Mo fẹ́ sọ Yorùbá díẹ̀ bó ṣe ṣe káwọn èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì máa jáde lẹ́nu mi, má bínú sí mi. Ṣé rí kókó ìdí tí mo ṣe ń pariwo pé tá a bá wà nínú Nàìjíríà, ó máa gba preservation wa kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa. Kò ní jẹ́ kí a mọ value ara wa tá tẹ̀ fi lọ tà fáráàta. Lóòótọ́, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ á ní I'm a proud Nigerian but ọmọ Yorùbá. A ṣe kúkú stick sí ọmọ Yorùbá nìkan. Kí ló fà á tí Dubai, tí a mọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Islamic country, tó fún àwọn Hindu láyè kọ́kọ́ nǹkan tó tó yìí? Ǹjẹ́ àwa náà ronú pé lọ́jọ́ iwájú káwa náà lè jẹ́ káwọn kan tún wá kọ́ irú nǹkan báyìí sọ́dọ̀ tiwa náà? Nǹkan méjì mo fẹ́ ká kọ́ fi sí back of our mind torí tá bá ń wo program yìí lọ. Building tọkọ yìí, orí ibi tọkọ sí ìjọba Dubai lónìí, wọ́n lísẹ̀ ni, kò likely pé wọ́n tà outright. That is the importance of land, ilẹ̀. Ìntàwá ti ṣe mistake lé lórí ni pé kàkà ká lease ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá fáwọn tí a fẹ́ fún, we sold it. Àwọn tó dẹ̀ smart tó jẹ́ àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù, wọ́n rà outright kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa. Ìgbà tó dẹ̀ tí wọ́n rà tán, àwa ṣe ń rí important pé wọ́n ti gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. A tẹ̀ rí pé àwọn yẹn rà ni, wọ́n dẹ̀ jókòó lé lórí, wọ́n fi sọ di investment nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. But àwọn ajagungbalẹ̀, tá bá ní ajagungbalẹ̀, èmi ò sọ nípa Fúlàní Tinubu ajagunbalẹ̀ bíi Dangote, ajagunbalẹ̀ bíi àwọn northerners tí wọ́n jẹ́ gbòógì ẹ̀yà wọn bíi Buhari tó wá. Nígbà tí Buhari máa dé, àwọn Tinubu ò mọ̀ pé Buhari tó mọ̀ ní 1980 náà ni Buhari yẹn, àwọn rò pé ó ti transform, ó ti dèèyàn dáadáa. Kódà tẹ́ bá rí Buhari ẹ rí pé ádìrì ló máa fi ń rẹ́rìn, èèyàn burúkú ni, aláìda èèyàn ni. Àwọn tó lọ mú wá náà ni wọ́n jẹ́ kó wá ṣe àìdásílẹ̀ Yorùbá lé wa lórí. Kí làwọn àìdá tó ṣe? Ó kó àwọn ẹ̀yà tiẹ̀, ó kó wọn wọlé. Àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kó wọlé yìí, gbogbo wa la mọ iṣẹ́ ibi tí wọ́n ń ṣe, but ibi tá à ń lò kọ́ nìyí. Irú àwòrán ta fẹ́ wò nísìn, kí ló ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation? Ó ní ṣe púpọ̀, torí pé lọ́jọ́ iwájú ara nǹkan táwa náà máa tà síta nìyẹn fáwọn tí a máa sọ pé a máa bá ṣe, torí pé ìjọba Yorùbá máa dé, àsìkò tó fẹ́ dé àtìgbà láì tí mọ̀. Gbogbo àwọn tó dẹ̀ ń sọ pé mo kí àwọn beauty àmọ̀ pé gbogbo àwọn tó dẹ̀ ń sọ pé àwọn ti gba orílẹ̀-èdè fún yín, kò sí nǹkan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o. So I always say that all the time. So ẹ jẹ́ ká mute mic mi ká tó padà sínú fídíò yẹn, but I can always interject láàrin méjì láti fi ṣàwọn àlàyé kéékèèké kan.
The Baps Hindu Mandir. It's the largest Hindu temple in West Asia. A huge crowd had gathered to welcome the Prime Minister. He inaugurated the temple, he took part in the prayers and was given a tour of the entire complex. Take a look.
Ìdí tí huge crowd ṣe jáde ni pé ìlú ní India, ẹ̀yà kan ni wọ́n, culture kan ni wọ́n. Let's give an example nísìn. Bóyá fún Tinubu bá máa wá sí ìlú yìí nísìn, kò ń ṣe gbogbo Nigerians ló máa lọ kí, because àwọn ẹ̀yà kan máa rí as ọmọ Yorùbá, bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn kan máa rí as bàbá president Nàìjíríà. Bó tó bá jẹ́ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni president tó wà lórí oyè nígbà tá a bá ti gbàlú tiwa, tó dẹ̀ ń bọ̀ ní UK. Modi, I've followed him few times. Ó lọ ṣe event kan náà ní Australia ní sometime last year. The stadium was full to capacity. Nítorí pé àwọn tó fẹ́ wá síbẹ̀, wọ́n believe pé president tó represent ìlú àwọn tó jẹ́ elédè àwọn àti ẹ̀yà kan náà. Mo fẹ́ ká take note of Modi. Ó gbọ́yìnbó, àmọ́ tó bá jáde síta kúrò nílùú ẹ̀, hardly ló fi ń fi òyìnbó communicate. A máa gbọ́ débẹ̀. Mo kí Dizzyman 123. Ó ní Yorùbá nation will be selling human capital. Mo kí bàbá wa Bámidélé Aliu. Ó wà important pé kẹ́ engage the program by putting your comment, because that is the only thing you can do for us to keep the platforms and every other things working. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Mo kí bàbá wa Dáréjò ẹ̀kálẹ́. Mo kí double two ẹ̀káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyá wa. Mo kí ẹ̀yin sisters mi, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Instagram. Like I said, tonight we're also running a small test, so you might see something different from what you've been listening in terms of my broadcast for some days now. So we hope that tonight will be part of what will lead to a good program next week, because I am already preparing ahead. Again, the reason why we talked about the partition of India. The rántí pé India and Pakistan, the split on the 13th and the 15th of August 1947, when the UK Parliament Act decided that it was worth dividing these two countries and let them be separated. The partition of India in 1947 was the change of political borders. Nigeria will change. There will be different borders. Yoruba borders will be different from the northern borders. The northern borders will be different from the middle belt and the southeast. But we will still have cordial relationship among ourselves. We will still be able to travel just as we do, but the only difference is when you're traveling into the southeast, known as the Biafra country, you will have to go through their custom, their own police, not the fraudulent Nigerian police as it stands right now, and the Nigerian military and the Navy. Ọmọ Yorùbá tí kò yé yín ni pé you would have your own security called the Yoruba security, not a Nigerian Yoruba person in the military. Nobody will be able to marginalize themselves. A Dewa Lamama, so when you go to Turkey, when you go to Germany, their soldiers do not speak English because English is not their first language. In India, their soldiers or their military care less about English. They speak in their own beautiful language. Moki Ayomikun Dameju. What are the Afar Imanlori going to tell Saudi Arabia government now? That Elebo are building temple in the caliphate. What a very beautiful time ahead. This is why I am your finest journalist. I will find what is happening around the world and bring it back to you so that you can be able to see why let us get the hell out of Nigeria. So let's go back to this. And we were talking about the Indian independence and why they are becoming a very powerful in the global community today. Their GDP is rising. They are becoming strong security-wise, and they are pushing more. All this is happening because they are speaking the same language. If I want to do the same thing in Nigeria today, the Igbos can say, no, it's not going to work. The Hausas, the Ijaws. That is the reason why not leadership problem is our problem in Nigeria. It's because we have different ideology and people that have the same, aspiration. The North might not have the kind of aspiration that the Southwest want. That is why Baba Olowo was able to build a regional government ahead of others. Once again, my name is Alami Koiki. So I'm going to mute my mic again and we'll go back into the video again.
Prime Minister Modi addressed the crowd after the inauguration. He said it marked a golden chapter in history. He also
a golden chapter in history. Níjọ́ wo ni Yorùbá náà máa ní a golden chapter in history? It's not going to happen in Nigeria. Àwọn olóṣèlú wa, they are very smart. They are presenting Nigeria to us in a format knowing fully well that it can never work. Mr. Waris Jinadu said Yoruba nationalism is a religious duty to preserve our Yoruba language, the Yoruba diverse dialects, custom, tradition in unity and peace. What you're watching is not something that happened 300 years ago. We are now seeing an Hindu temple built into the United Arab Emirates that many of us that are Nigerians today do not even know that the reason why you are not respected in Dubai as against an Indian citizen is because Indian is already ahead of the game. Tech-wise, they are ahead of the game. Economic-wise, they are. So the United Arab Emirates would rather welcome an Indian citizen in Dubai than a Nigerian because the Indian citizen can offer more in terms of they are not running out of their country because of greener pasture. They're just going to explore and support the economy of Dubai. But in terms of a Nigerian, you are being seen as someone that is running out of Nigeria to also survive, because Nigeria was never meant to be a country. So you can see the difference. And I'm sure if you're one of those that live in United Arab Emirates, please put it in the comment section and tell us, even after Tinubu came in on his way back from the G20, had a stopover in Dubai, spoke to the Dubai government, promised Nigerians that the permit will be issued. Till now, almost 7 months to his government, nothing has happened. We should now start thinking in a better way. Biomo Yoruba way. We want a Yoruba government of our own. We want to preserve and keep our own so that we can have cordial relationship. Go on the podium where my president will speak in Yoruba, and you will hear that now in this broadcast. When the Prime Minister Modi, Mukia Milenkonsi, and the rest of those that are watching me, when Prime Minister Modi was addressing this world event that we talked about yesterday, when we listened to Tucker Carlson, it's the same event that Modi attended. So he has used one stone to kill 3 birds. He has gone to open. So you can see that Dubai is also a very smart country. They link everything together. Or maybe the temple link what was coming up when world leaders and other dignitaries will be in Dubai to open this temple. So you can see timing is also important. Engagement is also important. Excuse me. And this is why we always say to our people, do engage so that what we are doing tonight can become what can change the narrative. So let's go back again with my mic muted.
Also, he praised on the UAE government for its contribution. Listen in.
यूनाइटेड अरब अमीरात की धरती ने
Now, he wants to address the world. He's not going to speak in English, because not that he doesn't understand English, at least maybe to some extent, but as the Prime Minister is to represent them. You can see his outfit. He's not putting on a suit. He's putting on their own traditional outfit. This is what we expect to be seen by the time we have our own independent country called Yoruba Nation, Oduduwa Republic, Yoruba Kingdom, whatever we decide to call it. But the more that you keep saying that I am a one Nigerian, when you go on this kind of podium, speaking either Igbo, Hausa, no, you can't speak all that, because English is what we are told to be speaking. I told you about, what's that girl's name? That woman that went to Nigeria. Kemi, is it Kemi as well? I told you ahead, I've been seeing a movement with Sanwo-Olu and some others. See, one Shekini, on your picture, they are bringing business to us and all that nonsense. I'll remember her name now. Let's listen to Modi. Buguntonso was in their language. So it is entirely up to the country that is currently to translate. And also for me that wants to listen to him, we should get a translator. But unfortunately, we don't have one. But let's listen. Even if you don't understand what he's saying, just follow the flow. They get lost. No, it's not igbati. That is the language of hope. The language tí Elédùmarè fún wa, tí ọmọ Yorùbá wa ní ká sọ sínú being for their own selfish interest.
मानवीय इतिहास का एक नया स्वर्णिम अध्याय लिखा है। मंदिर पूरी दुनिया के लिए सांप्रदायिक सौहार्द.
So what they've done is, since that so if you follow the bar towards the bottom, so you will see that Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, is speaking, but they've helped us to do the translation because we don't know what he's talking about. But he's talking about that this temple is a symbol of communal harmony and peace. This is what we are saying Yoruba, your Islam, your Christianity has nothing to do with our own deity, our tradition, our culture that is far, far ahead in civilization, in terms of being there before your own Christianity and Islam was brought to us. You are now telling me, Tori Kineba, please you want listen. You want to say in Omo Babalawo. Omo Babalawo le mi o, emi mo lo mi o. I'm not forcing you to be Omo Babalawo. Omo Babalawo ni mi, just like you want to say ni Omo Jesu ni Omo Anobi. Because this is what the West have done. They tried to do the same thing with India. But what India did not accept is their religion. India took other things that they wanted from Britain during the period of the colony or the colonial era. But as UK was leaving them, they refused to accept their Christianity, just as they refused to accept their Islam. Not that they will not have, one or two. So if you look at Pakistan, you see that they have more of Muslim in Pakistan. But in India, they kept what is their own natural tradition that their own creator gave them. But in our own case, Awalafi di Baba Dini, Babala Salatu, Omo Jesu Christi, there's nothing wrong in that. But you can see why the world does not even value us, because we're expecting them to value a Yoruba person when we have locked ourselves in the shithole country called Nigeria that has killed our own tradition. So, in case there are one cotton so, Esha wo sale, everyone should bit of translation. Let's go back again.
और वैश्विक एकता का प्रतीक बनेगा. तो इस मंदिर के निर्माण में यूएई की
I'll be pausing because there's things that I want to say, and I want to say it as quickly as we're watching the video. You can go and watch it fully later without any interruption. And analysis the Lord missing. If you listen to what he said here now, he said the contribution of the United Arab Emirates government in this project cannot be overstated. Kilodeti, the UAE government is giving, and let's see if we can find these Hindu temple images coming out, UAE. So these are the images, okay? And you can see that almost all the news media outlets have picked on it. BBC, let's see what BBC is saying. Hindu, Madhya, Indian PM Modi to inaugurate a temple in Abu Dhabi. So you can see the very beautiful, and I think I should put it at my background temporarily. Share this program. It is important. This kind of information is what is needed to liberate millions of Nigerians that are stuck in the shackles of what is called the entity cave called Nigeria. Okay, I want to bring this image, but sometimes what it does is it doesn't want me to copy to save it. So I'm going to first send it to my Twitter, and then that way, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do. I am Koiki Media on the X. I do have a lot of my Biafrans that do follow us, and probably a few Yorubas and other as well, but do follow us, please. So I want to copy. That's why I've done it this way, because sometimes when I try to copy straight from, it doesn't go. So now we come back, and then I can then have it at my background. So Ashiyoti Mamawa Oleyegbo Kurono. So that because of what we are discussing tonight, so it reflects. So you can see the beautiful temple behind me. So I just want us to look at the images. You know, different newspapers have picked on it. WION, Times of India. It's a big news. You know, especially it's a great, opportunity. Olamilekan Okwesope, religion is a scam here in Nigeria. Okay, so you can see that almost Christian architect, land given by Muslim king. Look at this headline. Christian architect. So Christian ló ṣe architect. Tó bá já wa nísìn, a máa jàjà ẹ̀sìn. When we should be thinking about ìjọ làwa náà máa ní Christian architect. But the Christian architect is doing kabu kabu, is probably doing POS because Nigeria is a lucky opportunity to eco-fish. So what I'm reading from this, I didn't even get this before. So what this is telling me now is that Christian architect, I'm sure everybody knows the meaning of architect. Land given by Muslim king, Odimeji, Abu Dhabi Bab's Hindu temple is an icon of communion harmony. I keep saying that we're Nigeria, orí ètò tèmi lẹ máa fi gbọ́n pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà tẹ́ ń gbé sórí yẹn, it is not worth it at all. I know you don't like my views of my utterances because it is too harsh for many of you. But there's always a message that I deliver that is different from others because I am not your normal, usual bloggers. I go and do my findings, my research, and I come out and use that to present reason why we need to go. So tẹ́yìn bá ń sọ pé torí Fúlàní ní máa kọ̀ wọ́n dà pé ṣé àwọn èèyàn ọmọ tó ń sọ ṣá àti kúrò ní Nàìjíríà torí kí ní kàn mí pẹ̀lú Fúlàní. Àwọn yẹn a máa neutralize wọn just like UK will kill any terrorists and Americans. But we should be talking about níjọ́ làwọn náà máa lọ kọ́ irú building by to máa represent ìran Yorùbá sí United Arab Emirates. Níjọ́ làwọn náà máa lọ kọ́ nǹkan báyìí sí Saudi Arabia. Mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ lọ sí Saudi Arabia kẹ́ lọ máa ṣọmọ ọ̀dọ̀. Mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ wá sí UK ká máa jápa torí pé a fẹ́ greener pasture tọ́ni fún wa ní visa táwọn máa ní the millions of naira. Mo fẹ́ jẹ́ ká lọ sí any countries around the world dà pé ká lọ kàwé ká lọ mú nǹkan tó dá níbẹ̀ ká dẹ̀ dá padà wá sílẹ̀ Yorùbá. That's all. Kí ló wá dé tí I find it difficult to understand all this. Mo kí kẹ́kẹ́ Okuz, mo kẹ́ ìtẹ́ wọ́n wà lórí Instagram. Ó tọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta tí a ti ṣerú program tó ní this kind of transmission. This is what I have missed for a very long time, and I'm happy that we're getting back slowly. Please, if you want to support, you can see scrolling on the top there, all the account details. Do give us your donation so that we can be able to do great, much information program like this. So, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated United Arab Emirates' first Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi during his 2-day visit to the Gulf nation. The temple was built by Boshawasi Akasa Usutoma Suwanyara Tasama Shamabinu, a domination of a Sunarayan Sampradaya Vaishya sect of Hinduism. Ìjọ Olọ́mọ Yorùbá náà máa lè máa kọ́ irú àwọn nǹkan báyìí. That is what we should be thinking of. That is how our brain should be working. We have, and you can see the temple here again in different images. When are we going to start thinking like these? Stop reasoning like Nigerian. We should start reasoning like Yoruba. We can do it in farming, in technology. Kakakama criticized Bishop Adesina pé ó set up Yoruba. Why not also pick on another sector and let us develop it? Why not pick up another area? Koiki, ìwọ náà ló máa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. No, I am not doing everything. My job is to tell us about Yoruba Nation using my media. If you give me more money I will do more. I will expand more. It will go from the grassroots to the grassroots. But if you say that you can do it as well, why not? But what we are saying is that I have taken care of the media from my end here. Bishop Adesina have taken care of his own end. Who is going to take care of the security? Who's going to take care of other policies, other areas, judiciary, laws? All these is what we should be thinking of, not come and criticize that our way, Moshe. And just like they said, I was listening to Dr. Koka, Baba Ikiti interview one. The Yoruba radio that we talked about, àwọn kan rò pé bí ọmọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ 24/7. No. It's not working 24/7 to tell us about Yoruba nation. It is there to you to listen to it at an appropriate time, which is Saturday and Sunday. Live transmission using the short wave. Tàbá ní ọmọ Yorùbá tó lè bá wa breaking another radio frequency, it can be done. Look, Choice FM in this country was a pirate radio station. Then, nígbà táwa dẹ̀ ti ní rédíò tiwa, àwọn èèyàn kò tune in sí frequency yẹn lórí FM. But èyí tá torí ẹ̀ ṣe rédíò yẹn is the short wave. It's a satellite radio. It's expensive. I have explained this again. But the Yoruba people sometimes could be very difficult because instead kawa innovative, ka prepare mind wa. Èmi náà wà innovative pẹ̀lú program mi ni mo ṣe máa ń lo oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà láti fi ṣàlàyé fún wa pé kò ń ṣe torí pé Fúlàní kí ni Fúlàní tó wà ní gbófé bí ṣe pẹ̀lú structure báyìí. Nígbà tá a bá ti gba Yorùbá nation, a dé pẹ̀lú àwọn yẹn, but we should start thinking about big and big. So I'm going to go back because I still want us to watch and listen to this more because there's still one area I feel low there. Once again, Ayomiko said, reason why Nigerians can fight for their right to religion have trapped their brains in millions. So I'm going to mute my mic again and we'll listen to more of the Prime Minister of India inaugurating one of the biggest in Asia, Indo Temple, in a Muslim country in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. Building yẹn tẹ̀lé ń wò yẹn, ẹ rí pé ó dàbí pé ó ní igun méje. What they've done is each of those structure represent the 7 emirates of what is called a United Arab Emirates. So let's mute my mic again.
सरकार की जो भूमिका रही उसकी जितनी तारीफ की जाए उतनी कम है.
Now, BAPS is a Hindu sect. They're followers of a yogi named Swami Narayan. He lived between the 1700s and the 1800s. His followers consider him to be a...
I hope you're listening to that word, 1700. 1700. I want to make Yoruba kingdom. So now, Omo Yoruba, because what if only Nigerian fake passport? The passport that, look, once you go so famous, evidence wà tí mo mọ èèyàn tó padà lọ Nàìjíríà ó dẹ̀ lọ change date of birth àti orúkọ ẹ̀. No, date of birth nìkan ló change orúkọ ẹ̀. Passport tó lò dé Nàìjíríà kan ló tún lò jáde padà. Kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n sọ fún mi ẹni tí mo mọ̀ ni. Passport tó lò wọnú Nàìjíríà wọ́n dẹ̀ change date of birth yẹn. Orúkọ kan náà dẹ̀ ló ṣì ń lò, but what ti reduce the date of birth gbogbo ara dem. I won't go into detail, but gbogbo alamọ reason tó ṣe máa ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ó dẹ̀ lo new passport jáde kúrò ní Nàìjíríà again, and you are expecting international community that to value passport. That is why when people like us travel with Nigerian passport, we are already flagged even before we get to the immigration. They are talking about Hindu that has been in existence since 17th century. We are currently at the 21st century. Nigeria was not a country until the 19th century, known as the fraudulent 1914 amalgamation. But a Nigerian today is saying to me, don't worry about that. Leave all that alone. At least they enjoy eba, is a Nigerian food. They enjoy the green, white, green. And all kind of lies that have been told. And that is why we are finding it very difficult to see whether some of them have got medulla oblongata in their brain. That is why somebody like us is doing 3 hours program to explain in detail that you have already been sold lies by the West for who you are. But because you are looking up to Linda Ikeji, you are looking up to E-Money, you are looking up to Billy Mamodu and the rest of them, and Fela Durotwe, to tell you that there is a country called Nigeria. You're even looking up to Showore, even though we know Showore wants a revolution. There's nothing called Nigeria. I understand that we were all born in that geographical location, and we were given a date of birth called Nigerians. But the true picture of who we are started way back before the fraudulent 1914 amalgamation. So I'm going to mute my mic again. Let's go back again and watch the video a little bit more.
A manifestation of Lord Krishna. The Baps have built some 1,100 temples around the world, and this is their latest one. It was given the green light in 2015. That's when Prime Minister Modi first visited the UAE. He mentioned the temple project to MBZ.
You see why there's a difference between the fraudster, a certificate forger, a drug dealer like Tinubu, compared to Modi, that you can see that there's a guy behind them there. You might be wondering why this man is there. No, he's not just there because they want him to be there. He's the one doing the translation, because these two people don't speak the same language. They are powerful leaders, but they don't speak the same language. One on your left-hand side is the Prime Minister of India, while the second one is the Prime Minister or the King of, United Arab Emirates. But you expect me now to appreciate Tinubu because the Yoruba man was a drug dealer, because drug money passed through his account while he was living in America. He probably didn't know that he was going to be contesting for a Nigerian president when he was doing all these shenanigans in America. Just like many of my brothers and uncles have spent fake credit card because you were angry that British colonized us and you wanted to use that to defraud them. And after a few years, Hush Puppy will come out of prison and he'll probably contest to become the governor of my state. And many Nigerians, idiots, will be so excited. You can see why there's a difference between leaders. Tinubu went to Dubai. He lied to Nigerians because they know that he's a liar. They know he's a certificate forger. He's a criminal. But they're not going to tell him to his face. They just tell him to his back, because he went there. He could not guarantee Nigerians that are living in Dubai that you will be securing your work permit after my visit and talk. Yeah, he made the same manner. But what we are told now, that this temple project did not happen because of not a word from the Prime Minister of India to the Caliphate to say, look, we're doing very well. We're good partners. We're good relationship. Let us have our temple here. I'm sure when they were discussing this, nobody came out with a riot stick and burned down themselves like Rebecca was burned down in Kano or Sokoto because of our religious views. You can see the craziness that we have trapped ourselves in a country called Nigeria. But when some of us are here explaining all this, rather than you to take that explanation, you are always doing something else. So let's go back and watch this more.
Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, MBZ, the current president, and MBZ made things happen. His country is home to 3.5.
You can see that MBZ did not make things happen with Tinubu. They probably told Tinubu that don't worry, everything will be fine. Until Tinubu left, and they just say, don't worry about it. All those Nigerians, we're going to deport them back to their country. Omo Yoruba, if we don't fight and take what belongs to us now, some of us are not. Alaja Ayrat Ayadada, Mo pẹ́ wà lórí ètò. Wọ́n ní well done Koiki. Ọlọ́run ló máa ṣe tí a bá dá dúró kúrò ní location 9. Our youth shall correctly work hard on technology and search for our heritage in order to erect our ancient history structures. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ìyá mi, we have ancient history. We have structures that we will rebuild. Just as this project, everything that was used inside this project, at least almost everything was imported from India to United Arab Emirates. I'm just doing it bit by bit so that I can do my analysis on top of it. Either quietly or those of you that will be watching this tomorrow. Kò ní sú àwa, kò dẹ̀ ní rẹ̀ wá. Kàkà kó rẹ̀ wá, kò ní rẹ̀ wá. Because we need to push the message back to the youth that this is what I want us to be thinking of as a Yoruba youth, as an elderly youth, as an Arugbo youth, as an Omidon youth. Whatever we are, we should be preparing our mind that we can do much more better than this in the next 20 years. And it can start now. But kò ń ṣe pé ká máa lọ wá àkàrà tẹ̀pà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí iná wọlé sí ọ̀dọ̀ yín. Is another bomb blast through gas explosion, but ní accept me. But abayin kẹ́dùn ní Ìjàyè Ìfàkọ̀. I saw how our people were trying to scavenge through the fire of what has burnt. Nílùú ìtìnàbájó, insurance payback, every goddamn thing that you would have to buy again in brand new. But in Nigeria, everybody was just trying to survive. And you can see that even in the midst of the fire that you watched with our team this yesterday afternoon, you can see that people were still trying to get things out that have been burnt. It shouldn't have happened. That area should have been sealed. But we are not there yet. Lagos is low. But the money is not for the people, it's only for a certain set of people, especially the Lebanese that Tinubu is going to give Nigeria to, just like Buhari gave Nigeria to the Fulani clan. Let's go back again and watch this video.
Million Indians, and this temple is a cultural milestone for them.
World cultural milestone. Very, very important. That is why I decided to put on what I'm putting on tonight. Sculpture. Let's see that quickly. BBC sculpture. Yoruba sculpture. Boom. BBC orí olókun báwọn ṣe fi wà nísìn BBC báwo lọ ṣe headline yẹn yes sculpture yes now sold London. There was a sculpture that I told you was meant to be sold here in UK. Then we should not search for one minute ago. Okay, police. Okay, no. BBC Nigerian sculpture. Yeah. I want us to go through this again. I made an inquiry with the British Metropolitan Police. And hopefully we'll try and get that sorted out after the burial of Oloye Igboho's mother. This headline dated June 2022, 26, Nigerian Ife. I mean, how can they link Yoruba something with Nigeria? It's because that is what the British created, the criminal, the crime against humanity that we're talking about. Read this headline. Kuje Yoruba Ife Ed. But what they did was they call it Nigerian Ife Ed. Who is a Nigerian? That is a question. And in Nigerian. Ilẹ̀ wo ni Nigeria ní? Kí ni culture Nigeria? Àdúgbò wo ni Nigeria wà? These are all the lies that have built around us for 110 years. Let's read further. Nigerian Ife Ed. Why the United Kingdom Police is holding a priceless sculpture. Did you hear that? What you're seeing here, what different is it from what you're seeing in this building that we just saw here? All these buildings. What can you see? This sculpture. Imagine Tawa Nobalo build the temple. See, United Arab Emirates. Chama kura nǹkan báyìí làwa náà la máa kó sínú ẹ̀ la máa fi ṣe kíní táwọn wò lẹ́yìn mi. But because maybe we should look at this one further. Nígbà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn lélẹ̀. You can see 4 stone built Hindu temple in the Middle East rises the United Arab Emirates ahead of Modi's latest visit. Abi, yọjú dẹ̀ ló ń dùn mí ni. Can you see this? Can you see it? Maybe we should watch this. Let's watch it. I don't know what is inside. Let's watch it together. Yoruba people, we are something else if we do not get the hell out of Nigeria. Advert relationship. So let's get the advert out first. Okay, I think this is just something else then. So anyway, I thought they were going to show the image, but it's not coming up here. So, all right. So let's go back. So let's just go. So you can see we orí àwọn èèyàn ara èèyàn nǹkan kan, but àwa ti sọ di nǹkan tí Jésù sọ fún wa pé ká nà pa, ká nà mọ́lẹ̀, ká forúkọ Jésù ká fi nà mọ́lẹ̀ àtorúkọ Ànábì Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But let's read this quickly. I've done a full program about this before. Like I said, I have a record from the Metropolitan Police. All right, let me do something quickly. I'm going to take away my screen for a few seconds because I don't want to show you a lot of things. So I have to be very careful. So I've got out of the screen. So what I'm going to do now is, let's see if I can pull out something from my email. Even though I'll be doing this program properly. So Metro, I want to see my conversation with them. Metropolitan Police. So my correspondent with them. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. Yeah, I think this is it. Request. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few things now. But because I had issues with my system for a very long time, so I was struggling. So many programs I have to cancel because I need count on your support to support. So what I'm going to do now, I want to show us my first background. So I have to reduce my camera. to fit in what I want to show us now. So my camera will be somewhere right there. I could block it. So I'm going to bring my camera down further down. So now, I want us to look at this email. This was me on Saturday, October 14, 2023 at about 8:10 a.m. And that's the good thing about technology. It doesn't tell lies. You cannot edit it. It can be verified. This is my email. I made a request, and let me show you as well where I sent it to. I sent it to the npcc.foi, freedom of information.request at npfdu.police.uk. So only send message all over Nigeria through email or reply. Can you send a message and you will get a request that you asked for? This email with an headline, request to know all the information held on the Nigerian Ife head by the UK police are holding a priceless sculpture. Nigerian Ife head, why UK police holding a priceless sculpture? I am Olayomi Koiki, a journalist and the chief editor of Koiki Media, registered and based in the United Kingdom. Under the freedom of information, I would like to know all the information held on this Nigerian Ife bronze held by the police. After reading the article on the BBC dated 26th of June 2022, it stated that Ife bronze is with the Metropolitan Police because this is in the public interest, especially for the Yoruba's indigenous people that would like to know the reasons why this sculpture is being held in the UK with the police. Ọlọ́pàá UK ó di nǹkan tó jẹ́ nǹkan bàbá tiwa. His Majesty Ọọ̀ni Ògbóní of Ife Adéfẹ́mi Adésọjí Tádé ní Ọwọ́, the king above all kings in Yoruba land in Africa and on the earth, is the 49th Ọọ̀ni of Ife. Wọ́n kó gbogbo àwọn sculpture yìí wá sí UK during the 20th century. Ife bronze heads and the effigies during the 20th century. I look forward to hearing back from you soonest. Olayomi Koiki, the chief editor of Koiki Media. So I'm going to move away and close that again because I don't want to show you what next. I'm going to have to check that before I show you. So I have to close that again, my background, so that I don't mistakenly give out other things that is not meant to be given out to the public. So let's take this out again and be sure that my screen all over the platforms have closed. And I think I'm just waiting for my TV to send a signal. Yep. Mukia wa Kudirat, Mukia Amobolaji Abdullah, and the rest of you, Teti Darapomawa. So now, let me now see if I can give you, if there was a response back from the Metropolitan Police. Yes, there was a response back, and I can tell you that even there was a unique reference number that was sent to me. Let's see if I can open this up. So what I'm going to do is I want to see if I can I won't want to give you my reference number to the Metropolitan Police. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm working with a screen here, I'm going to block some few things so that you'll not be able to see certain things, but I'll show you certain things, but not everything. So, all right, so I can leave it like this. So now, I'm going to now open my screen again so that Mukia J-Wire, so that you can see the reply to Olopa UK of the reply in Ipada. So I will not move the screen more than that. So Eric, It says there, official sensitive. I write in connection with your request for information which was received by the Metropolitan Police MPS. I note you seek access to the following information. Request to know all the information held. Your request will now be considered in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act 2000. This is what makes difference between the zoo country and Nigeria, a civilized country like UK that I live. But I know most of you say, come back home, because you are living in a zoo and you're always, looking at people like us as, that is why we are saying we should move out of Nigeria, not because of Fulani alone. Your request will now be considered in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act 2000. The Act, you will receive a response within the statutory timescale of 20 working days as defined by the Act. Due to an increase in the volume of work received by the Data Office, we regret to inform you that we are falling behind in our processing and experiencing delays. We can assure you we are working as fast as we can to process your request, and we are looking into ways to increase our staffing to accommodate the increase of work received by the MPS, official sensitive. If you have any further inquiries concerning this matter, please contact us at foi@met.police.uk, quoting the reference number above. Should your inquiry relate to the lodging or allocation process, we will be able to assist you directly, and where your inquiry relates to other matters such as the status of the request, we'll be able to pass on the message and advice. Data Office, Trade. So I'm going to take that screen off again, and I have to be very, very sensitive here because there are things I don't want you to see. That is why I say, don't ever compare me with all these Yobole Kaja media that are operating around in the contraction you call Nigeria. So let me leave that for now. But their outcome, we will deal with that some other time. I just wanted to prove, like I've said earlier before, that I wrote to them. They came back to me, even though they didn't give me what I wanted, but at least I tried to extract. That is why it demands of anything one liquid. If I joke with Ebane, if you try, Kagbi Yoju, Kagba Yoruba Nation. Torikwe Ayaninja Erumbain. Who do you think is coming to help us? Nobody helps anybody. Olongoni, God help those who help themselves. It's in the Bible and it's in the Quran, and everybody knows that. So let's read now. So this was the article that I saw that led to me asking the Metropolitan Police, what are you doing with a priceless sculpture that belongs to the Yoruba people? The British police are keeping a stolen statue worth millions of dollars in their custody as a dispute raged between a Belgian antique dealer and a Nigerian museum over its ownership. This started as far back as the 24th of January 2017, when this man wanted to sell this sculpture at John Axford of the auctioneers at the Woolley and Whaley's office in the upmarket Mayfair. All this is something that we need to get back from UK at the appropriate time. So we're going to move swiftly because I've run almost 2 hours already, and we'll complete the tempo that we are actually talking about. We still need your support for my team as we're going to be traveling next week. To date, even though I've asked for maybe somebody that have a vehicle just to lend us to use for the event next week, and we'll return it back. But it seems that nobody has any vehicle to give us or hire or lend us. So we will have to rent one. That means it will come as an extra cost. But there's nothing we can do since that is the only option left. But that means that we hope that some of you will donate so that we can be able to afford the vehicle, at least an 18 passenger and some other things that we're carrying with us to travel to Igboho. Since time of the law, I think it will be worth, supporting us to be able to do what we have to do. So let's come back again. I'm going to mute my mic. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to let this video roll for a while, and then I'm going to interject it again.
Some key numbers now. The temple is 108 feet tall, has 40,000 cubic meters of marble, 180,000 cubic meters of sandstone, and it's spread across 27 acres of land. This land belonged to the UAE government. It was donated by the rulers to build this temple. As you can see, the design is purely Indian. But there is a nod to the UAE. There are 7 spires in this temple complex. They represent the UAE's 7 emirates, United Arab Emirates, that's what they're called. It was a massive challenge to complete this project. All the sandstones were crafted in India. Then they were taken to Abu Dhabi. So you can imagine the work involved. Now let's talk budget. Reports say the temple cost around 700 crore Indian rupees. That's 84 million US dollars. And where did this money come from? Donations around the world.
Did you hear that? Oh my God. Sometimes when I come online and it looks like, we're beggars. Ẹ fún wa lówó, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ fún wa lówó ká fi operate Koiki lè ṣiṣẹ́, ká lè ṣiṣẹ́ tá gbé dání yìí, ká dẹ̀ lè tọ́jú ìyàwó náà, ká tọ́jú ọmọ, kó má bàa sọ pé bàbá tí ó ń ṣe iṣẹ́ yìí, ìjọ ni lọ wáṣẹ́ mi ṣe, ìdílé tó gbé dání lọ. My children have never asked me that, neither my wife, for the last 3 years. Because my wife knows that tá bá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá lénìí, tóun bá tẹ̀ tí lọ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ, tèmi bá tẹ̀ lọ at some point, a lè ní káwọn ọmọ máa padà bọ̀ nílé. Mo ń bí ẹ̀yin tẹjọ́ ń wò mí ní abroad, èèyàn mélòó mú yín ló máa ní kọ́mọ ẹ relocate lọ Nàìjíríà kó máa lọ gbé níbẹ̀. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Presently, we will have people that will do that, kò ṣe pé àní rí. But ẹ fọwọ́ sáyà níbi tẹ́ ti ń gbọ́ mi báyìí. Ẹni Koiki mi, ẹ dárúkọ yín, ọmọ mi máa ń padà lọ Nàìjíríà, á lọ máa gbé níbẹ̀. Kò ní wá gbé l'Ékòó tó bá ń ṣe pé Èkó ni ẹ ti wá, ẹ jẹ́ kó lọ sílùú yín l'Ékìtì, ní Kwara, ní Kogi, l'Ogun State, ní Ọ̀yọ́, kó wá tún wá lọ sínú àwọn local government yìí kó máa lọ gbé níbẹ̀, kó máa sùn kó máa jí. You heard what this beautiful presenter just said. $83 million ni wọ́n fi kọ́ temple yìí. Níbo ló ti rówó yẹn? Donation from around the world. Nígbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ wọn mọ rírì nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe. Kò ṣe páwa náà mọ rírì ẹ̀. But níbi tí a bá ti ń gbọ́ pé rà pé ó ṣe jẹ́ òun nìkan ni, ó ṣe jẹ́ òun nìkan ni, that is what killed this movement. Because àwọn kan ò ní àyà nǹkan táwa gbé dání. Kàkà kí àwa jọ wò pé àwọn tó ní àyà yẹn, báwo la ṣe máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́, ká máa fọ́ǹdì wọn kí wọ́n lè bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ yìí takuntakun. Kàkà bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹlòmíì fẹ́ lè ní kí n mú bank statement mi wá kóun lè mọ iye tó wà níbẹ̀. Torí pé lọ́kàn ara wọn, bí owó kan ńlá wà níbẹ̀. The same thing we did with Igboho. The same thing lẹ ṣe fún Bàbá Akíntóyè. The same thing lẹ ṣe fún almost every single campaigners. Tí bá ní ẹ fún wa ní £50,000 lásán tẹ̀mú tẹ̀ ṣe ní ká raise nísìn. £50,000 la ṣe fún GoFundMe. Bí aláṣẹ rí £1,000. Because àwọn èèyàn rí pé nǹkan tó necessary ni. Bí kí ló fẹ́ fi £50,000 ṣe? Òkúkú ra lé ní UK. Tó bá tẹ̀ máa rà, dilapidated house ló máa rà. Èèyàn dẹ̀ máa lọ sí auction ni. Ilé tó lè má ní toilet, tó lè má ní kitchen. ambosibosi. Because I read the genuinity of nǹkan tá a gbé dání. So à ń dúró kí the same criminal politician tá à ń bá jà àwọn là ń dúró pé kó wá fọ́ǹdì ìrìn àjò táwa gbé dání. Ṣe rí i pé we are not serious. Ìyẹn lèmi ṣe máa ń sọ pé gbogbo ìyẹn tá à ń wọ́wọ́ náà tá a bá kókó ti dàrú. For 2-3 years we will all be pained and àwọn ò ní gbádùn ẹ̀. Because tí wàhálà bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ṣe ń lọ́lé tẹ́ ń yọ lọ́lé ẹ̀ ní lè travel lọ́lé because by that time a ti blow airport yẹn down. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín kò ní sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ airport because airport àti dà wálẹ̀ or ká ti occupy ẹ̀. Tá bá dẹ̀ occupy airport níjọ́ tó bá ti yìnbọn sínú bẹ̀ airline kankan ò ní park sínú ẹ̀ mọ́ because ìbò náà ti ń bá yànjà tí ìbò ni plane máa gbéra láti Amẹ́ríkà táwa náà fi stop sí Nàìjíríà Lagos Murtala Mohammed airport táwa ti occupy ẹ̀. Ọ̀nà olófígbà tábà dẹ̀ occupy ẹ̀ tábà kúrò níbẹ̀ ìyẹn lè occupy ẹ̀ náà ṣèbí Julian Assange was stuck in one of the embassy because bèbí ìsọ̀rọ̀ lálẹ́ no member Ecuador embassy it was kódà inú ibẹ̀ gan ló wà ló fún ìyàwó ẹ̀ lóyún tó bímọ wàláì kò rí rú ẹ̀rì. It was in the Ecuadorian embassy for over 3 years. Ìyàwó ẹ̀ wọ́n máa ń fún ìyàwó ẹ̀ láyé kó wọlé lọ́ba wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ń ṣe mommy and daddy láàrin méje ó tún bímọ. Wọ́n sì fẹ́ extradite lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà. Gbogbo aláṣẹ àwọn ìtàn pè ní Wikileaks. Julian Assange. Now, àwọn ará Hindu wọ́n raise owó ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Àwọn ò lè raise owó because olúkálukú fẹ́ ní project tiẹ̀. Tí bàbá Kító ìbá náà dáwó sí bíbá, ìgbà yẹn ni ìyàwó èrè kan dé. Ìyá tẹ́yìn ò mọ̀ rí tẹ́ ẹ̀ rí ibi tó wà ẹ wá náà gbé ayé yín lé lọ́wọ́. And this is where we are today. But a dúpẹ́ fún èyí tí ẹ ṣì dúró tán because even in the midst of all this nígbà tó ṣe Yoruba Youth launching website níjọ́ Saturday kan ni we saw donation coming through. We hope that we will have one. I think the YSDM account is still operating. It's just that wọ́n polówó ẹ̀ bó ṣe jẹ́ kó polówó àwa ti polówó ẹ̀ títí àwọn tó ní gan tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ní bọ́dì àwọn náà gbọ́dọ̀ máa jáde ojoojúmọ́ ní every week làwọn Biafran raise owó. Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ raise owó kankan ju pé owó tó máa fi ramination tó máa fi prepare ara wọn. Àwọn ò tí ramination but owó tá máa fi ṣe campaign là ń sọ yìí. How do you want to so ṣé níbi tí mo ti ń sọ ọ̀rọ̀ 2 hours nísìn èèyàn mélòó ló máa lè gbọ́ gbogbo tá à ń sọ ní Nàìjíríà? Leaflet rèé àṣe flyer stickers fìlà aṣọ ìgbà kan adúpẹ́ pàwọn diaspora wọ́n fọ́ndẹ̀ àṣe flag níwọ̀n bá ta lè ṣe and after that everybody ní ti sọ àwọn àti dáwó àwọn ilé wa dáwó wọ́n fi kọ́ temple $80 million. Ìyẹn kan wá náà wọ́n wá $1 million ó fẹ́ fi gbàdélé wọlé ṣẹ́rí pé ìwọ̀n ṣẹ́rí pé máa sọ fẹ́yìn tẹ wà nílé pé ẹ máa learn ẹ máa farawé àwọn diaspora $80 million project lẹ́yìn ní structure kan lásán ìyẹn kan wá náà wọ́n need $1 million tó ń bá rí $1 million ó máa gbé interim government Yorùbá wá sílẹ̀ Yorùbá how ọ̀nà wo ibo ló fi gbà. This is the difference between Baba Akintoye àti Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì. Mo dẹ̀ ó pé gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti sá lọ pẹ̀lú wọn mo pẹ́ wà lábẹ́ ètò tó jẹ́ pé lọ́kàn ara yín a support ẹ̀ a fún ní nǹkan tó fẹ́ kódà àwọn kan ní ọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ làwọn wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ̀rọ̀ sí wa oríṣiríṣi ìwé mi kún dá yín lóhùn because as far as I'm concerned you are all a distractors ẹ ti distract movement too much pẹ̀lú gbogbo jágbajàgba tí jíl àti àwọn group ẹ̀ àwọn Ayọ̀ Brown àwọn tí wọ́n wà relevant wọ́n mọ̀ wọ́n ní Nàìjíríà èmi gan tí mo jókòó báyìí ní London gan sef tó bá ṣe lọ sáwọn abúlé mẹ́ta kan tó bá ní Kóìkì wá níta ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ spokesman Ìgbòho àwọn àpá mọ̀ à ń bọ̀sibọ̀sí àwọn yẹn ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé kí gbogbo akátọ̀ sójú kan káṣu sójú kan kí mo kí Alájà ní gbogbo àjà ẹ tí sùn níyà lágo 4 abẹ́ ń ṣàdúrà lọ́wọ́ ni ẹ tí sùn bàbá aago 4 ti lò lọ́dọ̀ yín báyìí àdúrà yẹn á máa gbà ìyá dáadáa Alájà Adiat Ọ̀dẹ̀wálé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀gbọ́n ni mọ̀. Ká tọ̀ sójú kan kó lè ho ṣúkúṣúkú ká lè tètè knock off Nàìjíríà kájọ máa rìnrìn àjò yẹn lọ. Tí wọ́n ti takú sí bíi ti kinní báyìí nísìnyí, but àwa ṣì ń tẹ̀síwájú torí pé kí ni ìrìn àjò táwa gbé dání ó yàtọ̀ sí ìtàwọn gbé dání. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ṣì ń tẹ̀lé Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì kì má sọ pé Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì ọ̀kan lè má rò pé woman kan tó ń pè ní Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì you are wasting your time. Building lásán ni wọ́n kọ́ yìí tó wọ́ọ̀tì $80 million. Ẹ̀yin wá náà need $1 million ẹni fi Gbádélé wọlé. Ṣé sínú Ìkòròdú local government ẹ máa náwó yẹn sí ni àbí inú gbogbo Ọ̀yọ́? Ẹ mọ bọ́yọ̀ ṣe tóbi tó with 33 local government. I don't think some of you understand what ẹlòmíràn tẹ̀ mọ̀ ọ̀tá gbé dání mẹ́ni ìṣòro. But ó kọ̀ dáká máa explain it fún the gullible idiot tó pèrè lọ́mọ Yorùbá. Mo kí gbogbo èèyàn lólùfẹ́ wa tẹ̀ ń tẹ̀lé wa. So ẹ jẹ́ ká continue video yẹn kí tún ní tonight.
I know these numbers are truly impressive. So is the temple itself. But the symbolism is much more. The UAE is one of the most important countries in the Muslim world. It's a key ally of Saudi Arabia. For them to permit a Hindu temple is massive.
Orí ìwọ̀ tó fi parẹ́ fún ẹ̀sìn, ìgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ fún ẹ̀sìn. Mo kí bàbá mi Akeem Ayọ̀délé. Ìyàkan ní they will donate more message. Ayọ̀míkún ní when Fulani terrorists start paku, lot of Yoruba now, they will all donate quick. Ẹ má ẹ̀kí Fulani paku wa my brother. Kọ́ tó paku wa ẹ jẹ́ ká distribute flyer lédè Yorùbá ká print ẹ̀ tó pọ̀. Ẹgbọ́n kan tó sọ ní bíbá. Ó ní is a big sharing kan tó kọ́ yìí. Wọ́n fi send the message sí ìta again. India is already ready to be the superpower. Ìyẹn wá nípa America náà ní continue superpower, but India is competing with them. And this is what we are saying ọmọ Yorùbá. Ẹ má yẹ ká takú sínú Nàìjíríà. Nigeria has done its best. I'm going to wind the program down because I can see that the time has literally, so let me wind it down, but we'll continue with it tomorrow again. I think I'll wind it down. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation to some extent. The key aspect of Ekamulo ni pé níjọ́ wo nìran Yorùbá náà máa lè ṣe jù báyìí lọ láti lè wá ọ̀nà àbáyọ kan ló wà ní pé ká get the hell out of Nigeria. Any other thing tí àkọ́kọ́ bá ń sọ fún yín pé mò ń gbọ́ tọ́nà fẹ́ ṣe parliamentary system, kódà mò ń gbọ́ ti Sultan of Sokoto náà tó ní Nigeria is the keg of gunpowder. Ṣé òun ló ṣe máa sọ yẹn fáwa ni? Gbogbo yẹn làwa ti mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ náà. Ẹ̀rí temple yẹn bó ṣe rí lẹ́yìn mi bó ṣe fine pa. $83 million lẹ́yìn tó jókòó yẹn. So mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa. Èmi ọmọ yín náà ni àbúrò yín Ọláyọmí Kóìkì, gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Kóìkì Media. So we'll end the program tonight like that, and I hope, like I said, the system has worked in the direction that we wanted it to work. Ẹ jẹ́ sáré appreciate gbogbo àwọn tó wà lórí Koiki Media Odùduwà torí mo ṣe ń rí kọ́mẹ́ǹtì yín ni ẹ má bínú pópẹ́. Màá kọ́kọ́ lọ kí ìyá mi First Bank. I'm sure pé gbogbo bó ṣe ń sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ owó ní Nàìjíríà ẹ̀kọ́ máa ṣe kàyéfì ni pé òkùnkùn jọ yín lójú because sector tẹ mọ̀ dáadáa ni bó ṣe ń wá $6 million lọ́n wá kìíní kan $1 million. Ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè á bá wa pẹ̀lú yín. Mo kí bàbá wa Ziko Ọlá Lawal. Mo kí bàbá wa Nurudeen Akínmọ́yẹ̀dé. Mo kí bàbá wa Baálẹ̀ Dàda Nurudeen. Mo rẹ̀ kí bàbá mi ọmọ Dámiláre. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ kí àwọn tó kù náà. Ibi tá máa fẹ́ máa end the program yẹn sí ni. Má bínú, màá pick it up again lọ́la níbi tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ dé, mo mọ ibi tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ dé. Àní sọ̀rọ̀ tán. Mo máa ń kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tí a kó palẹ̀mọ́ fún ti màmá wa ti olóyè Dr. Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho Òòṣà. Torí pé màmá dáadáa ni, màmá rere ni, tí ọlọ́jọ́ dé nígbà tí a fẹ́ jẹ́ kó dé àní choice. Mo wá fi tẹlẹ́dùmarè mo fi ń dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo wa pé kò ní sú wa, kò ní rẹ̀ wá. No matter what it is, it might be a very rough road. No matter what, but we are going to get there. Ajìjàgbara mo kí ẹ, ìjáyàjáyà mo kí ẹ, brother mi mo kí gbogbo yín pátápátá. If I didn't mention your name, don't take it personal. Mo kí mo sí mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Èmi lọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà. Peter Pan mo kí ẹ dáadáa. Ó ní mo kí bàbá máa kí ìyá mi Pastor Mo náà. Peter Pan sọ pé the mess Britain did to Nigeria, they tried merging India with Pakistan. Totally different people, just like the merged Igbos with Hausa. He went further to say, Britain saw the greatness and the future of the various tribes and used their power to ensure these great tribes or nationalities don't unlock their potentials. AKA, they saw rivals instead of partners. You're quite right. Safety domain means the day we would be building Orunmila temple in different parts of the world. Interesting. I didn't think of that. Mo kí Pastor Mo. Ẹ bá wa sọ fún gbogbo àwọn ará ilé pé the Yoruba nation movement has not ended. It is a journey that we are still embarking, and it is a journey that we will deliver collectively. We will get there, inshallah, lágbára Jésù Kristi, by the gods of the Yoruba land. Wọ́n nígbà lè mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́, no matter how they try, the land belongs to us. And on that note, I leave us and I say good morning. It's 3 o'clock here in London, and I have to go now so that we have more time. But let me just show you, because like I said, this is also like a testing because of being away with this kind of what we've done in the past. So I want to just show something before I go on my system, because I'm testing the system as well as we go along the line. So the fake union that was created, that is just one. Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their background, in their religious belief and custom, and do not show themselves any signs of willingness to unite. Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa in 1948. And you can tell that Britain knew that putting every one of us together was not in the interest of me and you. It is only for the interest of Britain. But what can we do? All we can do is to collectively come together and say enough is enough. We've had enough of the union. It has been a failed union, but Britain and the rest of the European countries will not let you go if you do not make enough push. They've done the same thing for the period of the empire time, which is what I've just shown you now. These are the list of the countries UK empire run for 200 years. And each one of them got their independence separately. We must not allow Britain to dictate our future, neither the IMF, the World Bank. The Yoruba politicians are just like another puppet to the Western power. Let us say enough is enough. Thank you so much. And I say good morning. Oduagbewa Onigbe ọ̀dàlẹ̀. Gbogbo wàkígbà tí o bá ń jí máa sọ pé ìran Yorùbá máa bọ́ ní oko ẹrú. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tí Amẹ́ríkà, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí wà ní Europe, Asia, mo kí ẹ̀yin tí wà ní Africa, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí wà ní the 7 continents of the world. I remain Olayomi Koiki, known as Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Tomorrow, we shall have a transmission from Ondo State to start the beginning of the final burial of Akeredolu as well, from the Koiki Media team. Good night, and God bless the Yoruba nation. God bless Biafra. God bless every part of the world that wants to be free from the shackles of those that have kept them enslaved. Bye for now.